Hello, this is Mr. Doreen, and in this video I'm going to show you how to produce and publish your own video using a video editor called WeVideo. Remember that you can stop this video after each step to go do what I just showed you, then come back and press play to continue and learn the next step. If you missed something, just play this video again to see and hear what you missed. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start by logging in. Open a new web browser and go to www.wevideo.com. Click on Login on the upper right-hand corner. Next, type in the username and password your teacher gave you in class. And click on Login. Once you have logged in, look on the upper left-hand corner where it says Projects. Click on the second icon in the middle that has a plus sign right here. Next, type in the title you want for your project and click on Create. Notice that your project title now appears on the left-hand column over here. Once you have named your new project, click on Create New Video. If you get this message, just click where it says Education right here, and you could put None, then click on Start. Okay, and go ahead and click on Start Editing. Next, to create a title for your new video, go ahead and click up here where it says Untitled Video on the upper right hand corner right here. Go ahead and type in the title that you want for your video and click on Save. Make sure you add content to your video right away, or else your video will not really be saved. A quick and easy way to do that is to add a title page. Let's do that right now. Now that you have created a title for your video, as you can see up here, add a title page. Click on the tab that says Text right here. Then click, hold, and drag the clip that says title, or sometimes it says text, onto the timeline where you want it. Click where it says edit on the clip right here. Delete the text and type the title that you want your audience to see when they watch your video. Click on the Done Editing button when you finish. If you want to delete this or any other item, just click on the clip on the timeline and select Delete. Sometimes it'll say delete up here, or there'll be a little trash can right here. There's also a trash can here that you can click on to delete it. You can also undo the changes you made by clicking on the undo arrow right here. You can also redo the changes you made by clicking on the redo arrow here. Okay, so you can use them as many times as you like. In WeVideo, there are 3 editing modes or timelines you can use to edit your video. You can access those timelines by clicking up here on the little triangle. As you can see, there's 3 options. The first editing mode is the storyboard timeline. The video editor looks like a storyboard, as you can see down here, and is the easiest mode to use but gives you the least number of editing options. It is also the one that we've been using so far. The second editing mode, as you can see when I click on the little triangle again, is the simple timeline. It gives you tracks to add and edit your images and audio, as you can see when I scroll down here. The simple timeline gives you more options than the storyboard timeline, but still has limited editing options. The third editing mode is the advanced timeline. As you can see when I click on the triangle and click on advanced timeline, it gives you the most editing options, as you can see when I scroll down. Okay, it gives you the most editing options. So this is the timeline that you will be using to create your video project. So make sure that you click on the little triangle up here and select Advanced Timeline to work on your video from now on. To add images to your video project that you have saved on your computer, click on the Upload tab either here or here. Then click on the Browse button. Next, find the image or images you want to use from the files that you have saved. You can select more than one by pressing and holding the control button on your keyboard and at the same time clicking on the images that you want. Once you have selected the images, click Open. Sometimes you need to click on Start Upload. Sometimes there's a little button here that says Start Upload and you might need to click on that. In this case, we didn't need to do that. As you can see over here, there's a status bar and it tells you that your images are being uploaded. Just be patient because it may take a little while to upload the images. If you want to upload more images when these are done, just click on the Browse button again and repeat the steps. When the images are done uploading, click on the Projects tab up here. Find the video you are working on and click on Edit to keep working on it. If you want to upload images from your Google Drive, click on the Upload tab either here or here. Then click on the first icon that looks like this. This is the symbol for Google Drive. Next, click on Connect to Google Drive. If you are not logged into Google Drive, you will be prompted to sign in. Type your password, click Sign In, and then click on Accept. Choose the file you want. Next, select your images and click on Upload. Sometimes you will also need to click on Start Upload. In this case, we don't have that option here, but sometimes it'll ask you for that. Be patient because it may take a little while to upload the images. You can see the status bar on the right hand side and it tells you that your images are being uploaded. When the images are done uploading, click on the Projects tab up here. Find the video you are working on and click on Edit to keep working on it. Once you've uploaded your images, you will see the images you uploaded in the Media tab right here in the My Media folder right here. You can scroll down to see the rest of your images if you uploaded a lot of images. So if you have a lot of images here, there will be a scroll bar right here on the right hand side. Click it and drag it down to see the rest of your images. To place the images on the timeline, first make sure that you're on the Advanced Timeline Editing mode by clicking on the little triangle and selecting the Advanced Timeline mode. Then simply click, hold, and drag the image clips one by one onto the timeline on the main track in the order that you want them to appear. For example, like this. You can drag the scroll bar on the bottom, this one right here, to see the entire timeline. You can also click on any clip on the edge and drag it to make it shorter or longer. So the shorter it is, the less time it appears on your video clip. The longer it is, the longer time it appears on your video clip. You can also change the order that you want your clips to appear by clicking on the clip and dragging them wherever you want on the timeline. So I just changed the order of these two. You can also delete the clips by either clicking where it says delete, selecting the clip and clicking the trash can, or clicking and dragging the clip over the viewing pane. You can also click to undo the last action you just made, or redo. Once you've placed a lot of image clips on the timeline, like I have, as you can see here, it will be easier to zoom in on the timeline to work with and edit your clips. To do that, you can adjust the zoom level by using the zoom bar on the bottom right hand corner down here. You can double click on the zoom bar to fit the contents of the timeline within the width of your screen, as you can see here. Or you can drag the zoom bar like this, or you can click on the zoom out and zoom in icons. The easiest thing to do is to just double click on the zoom bar like this and adjust your view from there. Another thing you can do to make it easier to edit and work on your video is to make your video editor go full screen. You can do that by clicking on the full screen icon on the bottom right hand corner down here. You will notice that you can see more tracks on the timeline over here on the left hand side at a glance. To return to the regular view, you can click on the full screen icon again. You may notice when you work on your project that your images have black space around them like mine. As you can see here and here, there's black space on the sides. That's because WeVideo automatically makes your entire image fit to the screen so no part of your image is cut off. If you want your images to fit the entire viewing frame and remove the black space, I'll show you how to do that. First, click on an image on the timeline to select it. Then click Edit. Next, click on the Transform tab up here. You can see you have options here to make changes to the way your image is displayed in your video, and you can scroll down to see more by clicking and scrolling down here. For now, where it says Fit right here, go ahead and select Fit Frame. You can see the image now fits the viewing frame over here and there's no more black space. I think this actually looks a lot better, but just be careful because choosing this option cuts off the edges of your images. If you have something important that is being cut off on the edge, then you might not want to use this option. If you decide you want to leave it the way it was before, just click on Fit Screen right here. Notice how Fit Screen shows the entire image and Fit Frame cuts off the edges. So remember, on the one hand, Fit Screen, this one right here, shows your entire image but has black space around it. On the other hand, Fit Frame, this one right here, fills the entire viewing frame with your image, and I think it looks a lot better, but the edges of your images get cut off as you can see here. So you decide what you think is best for your video. I'll do Fit Screen for now. Either way, click Done Editing when you finish to go back to the timeline. If you decided that you don't want black space around your images, you must select each image one at a time on the timeline, click Edit, and select the Transform tab. Then choose Fit Frame like I showed you. Just make sure that for your project, all of your images have the same fit. Either all of your images should be set to Fit Screen, or all of your images should be set to Fit Frame so you have consistent design throughout your video. To help your video and images flow smoothly from one image or section to the other, you can add transitions. To do that, click on the Transitions tab that looks like this right here. Next, you can press play on the transitions to see what they will look like. You can see it right here. You can also scroll down to access more transition options by clicking and dragging down here. Once you find a transition you want to use, click, hold, and drag it down between two items on the timeline, like this. And if you notice, I chose to put it here because here I have a title slide, and this title slide already has a transition at the end, and it won't let me add it there, as you can see here. Okay, but I'll just go ahead and add another one right here as an example. You can preview what a transition will actually look like in your video by dragging the playhead just before the transition begins and pressing play right here as an example. So I'll drag the playhead here right before the transition, I'll press play, and it'll show me what that transition looks like, see? And I can also put it here, and I'll see what this transition looks like. Okay, you can see, I can see what those transitions look like by placing the playhead right before them. In some cases, you may want a transition to be slower or faster depending on the effect you're trying to create. In that case, click on the transition like this right here, the one that you want to focus on. Then click on one of the edges and drag it to make it longer or shorter. So for example, I clicked on it, and if you notice, I can go ahead and drag it like this to make that transition longer. Okay, or I can also click on it and drag it to make it shorter as well. Preview it again and keep adjusting it until it's the way you want it. So I'm going to go ahead and drag over here, and I'm going to preview to see what that looks like. So let's see. Okay, you can see that transition was slower there. Okay, you can replace a transition by just dragging another one on top of it. So for example, this transition over here, if I just want to change it and I want to add another one, I can just take another one and drag it right on top of it, and if you notice, it just replaced it. It deleted the other one and added the new one. Okay, so to delete or remove a transition from the timeline, you can go ahead and click on it and just click delete like this, or you can go ahead and click on it and click the trash can right here, or you can click on it and drag it over the viewing pane and delete it like that. Okay, so there's 3 ways you can delete it. Now that you know how, make sure you add transitions between all of your image clips on your timeline. Just make sure that you select good transitions that help your video flow smoothly, create the effect, mood, and style you want, and communicate your story, message, or information effectively. To record your voice narration, scroll down on the timeline by using the scroll bar on the right-hand side over here until you see the image of a red microphone on the left-hand side of the timeline over here. Click on the red microphone and click on record to begin recording your narration. If you get this message, recording failed, click allow on the top of your screen to allow WeVideo to use your microphone. When you are done, you should be able to click record and it should work this time. Okay, so this is just an example. I'm just going to record anything or just wait for the time to pass by a little bit. When you are done speaking, click on stop recording. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, so to listen to your narration, click on the play button right here. It'll play it back to you. If you don't like your narration or if you made a mistake, click on record again right here to delete and record a new narration. When the narration sounds the way you want it to, click on save over here to add the recording to the timeline. Okay, notice it says saving recording to server. You just have to be a little bit patient until it saves it and then it adds it to your timeline. Okay, as you can see here, it's been added to the timeline. Okay, so what you can do is you can click, hold, and drag the recording and place it anywhere on the timeline to match the image or images on your video that the narration is supposed to go with. So for example, let's say this recording is supposed to go with this image. I can go ahead and click on the recording and drag it over. And if you'll notice, there's this green little thing here. It's called a playhead. So I move it over until the playhead, the beginning of the playhead matches the beginning of this image. Now if you notice, right now my recording is longer than this image, so I can go ahead and click on this image, and it's okay if the playhead moves, that's okay. Just go ahead and click and drag and make it as long as the recording. Okay, right there. So notice how I matched the beginning of the playhead over here and then the ending so that this recording matches with this image. Okay, so I just showed you how to match the recording to the image. Okay, so you can add as many recordings as you'd like to the timeline and adjust them by repeating the steps that I just explained. To add music or sound effects to your video, click on the tab with a music note right here. You can click on the music folder to collapse the folders like this. And view the 3 main folders, which are the music, sound effects, and atmosphere folders. Each of these main folders contains subfolders with audio files inside. Click on the main folder you want to access the subfolders like this. Then click on the subfolder you want to access the audio files like this. Click on the play button to hear what a file sounds like and click stop when you are done listening to the audio file. When you find music, sound effect, or atmosphere files that go well with your video, click, hold, and drag the file onto the audio 1 track on the timeline like this. and notice that this is the audio 1 track right here. You can add more than one audio track to the timeline to use one audio track for music or atmosphere and one for sound effects. This will help to keep the audio files separate and organized and make them overlap when you play the video. To add another audio track onto the timeline, make sure that you're on the Advanced Timeline mode by clicking on a little triangle and clicking on Advanced Timeline in case you're not already there. And click on the wrench and screwdriver icon on the left-hand side of the timeline right here. Next, click on Add a New Track right here. Check off the audio circle right here and click OK. You will notice that a new audio track has been added to the timeline right here. It says Audio 2. I recommend that you use one audio track for your music or atmosphere files and the other audio track for your sound effects. This will help to keep them separate, organized, and make them overlap when you play the video. If you have audio files saved on your computer or Google Drive, you can upload them in the same way you uploaded images earlier. Just watch and review the section on uploading images again and follow the same steps to upload your audio files. When you play and preview your video by clicking on the play button over here, you may notice that the music, sound effect, and atmosphere tracks are too loud and you can't hear your narration very well. The music or atmosphere tracks should just play lightly in the background so your audience can hear what you are saying. And you may want to make your sound effects louder or softer depending on the mood you're trying to create. To adjust the volume on any of the audio tracks, just click and drag the sliders on the left-hand side of the timeline over here like this. This is to make it softer, and this is to make it louder. Again, this is to lower the volume, and this is to raise the volume on any of these audio tracks right here. You can preview the video and listen to the audio by clicking on the play button over here again. Keep adjusting the volume on the audio tracks over here, like I showed you, until it sounds the way you want it to. To make your video more interesting and focus your audience's attention, you can use the Ken Burns effect, which is a way to use zooming and panning to add movement to the images on your video. Simply click an image on the timeline you want to add the effect to and click on Edit. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to scroll up so I can see my images. I'm going to go all the way over here and I'm going to select this image right here. I'm going to click on it, and as you can see, it gives me the option to click on Edit. I'm going to click on Edit right here because that's the image I want to add the effect to. And then click on the FX tab right here. You see where it says FX? Sometimes when you click here, it'll be here. Just click on FX right there. So click on the FX tab and select Ken Burns from the options you are given. As you can notice, this one right here, it says Ken Burns. I'm going to click on it. Okay, and then use the scroll bar over here. Actually, I can go ahead and X this out. You can use the scroll bar over here to zoom in and out on the image and click and drag the image to pan and change its position. So do this to set the start and end position of the effect. So for example, to start the effect, I kind of like where this is, so I'm going to leave it. To set the end position, I'm going to click end, and I'm going to zoom in on this little HUD over here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the scroll bar to zoom in. I'm going to drag it over. I don't want to get any of that black space. I'm going to try and zoom in right there as much as I can. Okay, so notice I'm using the scroll bar to zoom in, and I'm clicking and dragging to change the position of the image. Okay, so my end position is going to be right here. Okay, now that it's the way that I want it, click on preview to see what the effect will look like. So let's see what that movement is going to look like. Okay, I'm not going to play the whole thing. As you can notice, that was a longer clip, so it's moving in slowly. If your clip is shorter, it'll move in faster. So just make sure that the movement is smooth, focuses your audience's attention on something important, and helps to tell your story or communicate the information in your video in a meaningful way. Click on the reset icon up here. This is the reset icon, and click on it if you want to reset it and do this over. So if you didn't like the way the movement was, click on reset and you'll be able to do it over again. When you have the effect the way you want it, click on Done Editing right here to return to the timeline. Now that you know how, use a Ken Burns effect to add movement to the images on your video. When you are done editing your video, you can publish it by clicking on the Publish tab up here, scrolling down and clicking on the Publish Video button right here. Sometimes WeVideo will have you rate the service. Just click on all of the stars since they're nice enough to let us use their tool for free. You don't have to write any comments and just click on Send. In this case, when that's done, then just click OK right here and check the status of your video by looking on the right hand side of the screen where it says Status over here. Be patient because it may take a while to publish your video. When your video is done being published, click on the Exports tab up here to view your published video. To post your video on your blog so your classmates can view it, click on the Exports tab up here. And then click on the image that you see here. This will take you to a web page where you can see your video. Scroll down and click on the blue circle with a white link icon inside. So go ahead and scroll down and you see this blue circle with a white link icon. Click on it. Okay. Next, highlight the link that appears and copy it. Now open a new web browser and log in to access your blog. Create a new post and type the title you want where it says Enter Title here. Now click in the text editor and type a word right here. Click in the text editor and type a word or phrase to attach the link you copied. Highlight the word or phrase you typed and click on the link icon. So highlight it and click on this link icon right here. Paste the link you copied where it says URL. So right here, just paste the link you copied. And check off the little box that says Open Link in a New Window /tab. So this one right here, check it off. Then click on Add Link. As you can see, the link has been added. Center it by clicking on the center icon that looks like this right here. Notice how it's centered when I click on this right here. This link will allow your audience to view your video in full screen mode. I'll show you that later on. For now, in addition to adding this link, embed the video right on your blog post under the link you just added so your audience can view the video right here if they want to. Go back to WeVideo where you copied the link from and click where it says Embed. So let's go back to WeVideo. Click right here where it says Embed. Okay, change the width. Right here it says width. Change this to 550. Okay, so change the width to 550 so it fits on your blog post. Otherwise, it won't fit on your blog. Highlight the long code and then copy it. So highlight this long code and copy it. Now go back to your blog post. Click in front of the link you already added. So right here, click in front of it. Click Enter and type the same letter 5 times. So click Enter and type the same letter 5 times. It doesn't matter which letter, this is just a placeholder for now. Next, click on the HTML tab. Right here you notice it says HTML, click on it. Find and highlight the 5 letters you just typed. So here's the 5 letters I just typed. Okay, so find them and highlight them. Okay, so next, paste the code you copied right here where you highlighted this section. This will replace the 5 letters with the code you copied from WeVideo, which is what you want to do. Finally, click on the Publish button right here. Okay, once it's published, you can view your post right here. So view your post. Notice that you can view your video right on your blog post, but you can't view it in full screen mode. So if I play it, it's just going to play it here, but it doesn't play it in the entire screen. To do that, click on the link you added and click on the play button. So you see this little link right here? If I want to play it in full screen mode, I click on that link. Okay, it takes me to my video here. So to view it in full screen, on the bottom right hand, so once you play it, if you play the play button here, let me go ahead and stop it. Notice how it gives you a little icon on the bottom right hand corner. If you click on it, it's going to make it full screen. See, now I can play it in full screen. Okay, so as you can see that on the bottom right hand corner, just click on that full screen icon so you can view it in full screen. Okay, now let me go ahead and get out and go back to my blog post. As you can see, your classmates now have 2 options to view the video you created by visiting your blog. They can either watch the video right here or click on the link and see the video in full screen mode. Okay, when you finish, go ahead and log out from your blog. Click on log out over here in the top right hand corner, and that will log you out from your blog. Go back to WeVideo. I want to go ahead and show you how to save and log out from WeVideo. So we were here. Let's go ahead and close everything out. Let's go back to our projects. Now usually you don't have to worry about saving because WeVideo saves by itself, but I just want to show you that just in case. Let's just go back to edit our project, and to save it you would click here where you have the title. Go ahead and click on it and notice how it says save right here. So click on save and that would save your project. Like I said, usually it saves by itself, but if you want to save it just in case, go ahead and do that. So when you finish saving, click on the profile image on the upper right hand corner up here and click on log out to exit the program. If you missed something, play this video again to see and hear what you missed. If you have already completed the steps on this video, go on to the next step. Once again, this is Mr. Doreen. Thanks for following along, and now go produce and publish an awesome video.